students, my name is Mrs. Poonima Karthik from Venper Academy. I am here with you to discuss the solutions of the questions in biology which is asked in NEET exam. Let us start with the question number 46. Grass leaves curl inwards during very dry weather. Select the most appropriate reason from the following. Option 1, flaccidity of bulliform cells. Option 2, shrinkage of air spaces in spongy mesophyll. Option 3, tylosis in vessels. Option 4, closure of stomata. The correct option is option A, flaccidity of bulliform cells. Bulliform cells are epidermal cells which are large bubble shaped, which is usually present in many monocots. So here grass is given, which is a monocot, and these cells are present on the upper surface of the leaf, which minimize the water loss during unfavorable condition. So the correct option for this question is option 1, flaccidity of bulliform cells. Exclusion of second polar body from egg nucleus occurs. Option A, after fertilization. Option 2, before entry of sperm into ovum. Option 3, simultaneously with first cleavage. Option 4, after entry of sperm but before fertilization. The correct answer for this question is option 4. It is after the entry of sperm but before fertilization. The secondary oocyte becomes a mature oocyte by the expulsion of second polar body into the perivitelline space. So it happens after the entry of sperm but before fertilization. So the correct answer is option D or 4. Question number 48. Which of the following statements is incorrect? Option 1, claviceps is a source of many alkaloids and LSD, which seems to be correct. Option 2, conidia are produced exogenously and ascospores are produced endogenously. This is correct. Option 3, yeast have filamentous bodies with long thread hyphae. Option 4, morels and truffles are edible delicacies. The incorrect option is yeast have filamentous body with long thread like hyphae. We call a group of fungi called yeast which lacks hyphae. So the third option 3 is incorrect. The incorrect option is yeast have filamentous body with long thread like hyphae. Question number 49. What triggers the activation of prototoxin to active Bt toxin of Bacillus thuringiensis in bollworm? The options are option 1, moist surface of midgut. Option 2, alkaline pH of gut. Option 3, acidic pH of stomach. Option 4, body temperature. The correct answer is option 2, alkaline pH of gut. Bt toxin are initially inactive prototoxins, but after the ingestion of toxin by the insects, they become active due to alkaline pH of gut. So in the alkaline pH, this toxin is solubilized and it forms crystals. So the correct option is option 2, alkaline pH of gut. Question number 50. Which of the following statement regarding mitochondria is incorrect? Option 1, enzymes of electron transport are embedded in outer membrane. Option 2, inner membrane is convoluted with infoldings. Option 3, mitochondrial matrix contains single circular DNA molecule and ribosomes. Option 4, outer membrane is permeable to monomers of carbohydrate, proteins and fats. The incorrect option is option 1, enzymes of electron transport chain are embedded in the inner membrane. So the incorrect option is option 1, and the inner membrane is convoluted to form cristae. 51, first question. Purines are both found in DNA and RNA. Options are option 1, adenine and guanine. Option 2, guanine and cytosine. Option 3, cytosine and thymine. Option 4, adenine and thymine. Purine are the 2 carbon nitrogen ring bases which are adenine and guanine, and purine are common to both DNA and RNA. Pyrimidine differs from DNA and RNA. In DNA, the pyrimidines are cytosine and thymine. In RNA, the pyrimidines are cytosine and uracil. So the correct option for the 51st question is Option 1, adenine and guanine. 52nd question. Which of the following method is the most suitable for disposal of nuclear waste? Option 1, bury the waste under Antarctic ice cover. Option 2, dump the waste within rocks under deep ocean. Option 3, bury the waste within rocks deep below the earth's surface. Option 4, shoot the waste into space. Nuclear waste are highly radioactive, so it needs to be disposed in a very safe manner. So the correct option of this question is bury the waste within the rocks deep below the earth's surface. Question number 53. Match the following genes of lac operon with the respective products. We have I gene, Z gene, A gene and Y gene. Each one codes the respective products. I gene is a repressor gene and Z gene is for beta galactosidase. A gene is responsible for a transacylase product and Y gene is permease. So the correct option is for A, I gene it is 3 repressor, for B, Z gene it is beta galactosidase, for C, A gene it is transacylase and D, Y gene it is permease. So the correct option is option 2. Next, match the following organism with their respective characteristics. There are different organisms from different phylum is given in the column 1. It is Phyla, Bombyx, Pleurobrachiae and Taeniae. For Phyla, it is Radula, which is said to be an excretory organ. For Bombyx, it is Malpighian tubules. For Pleurobrachiae, it is complates, and for Taenia, it is flame cells. So the correct option is option 1. Question number 55. Which of the following statement is correct? So the 4 options are given. In the 3 are incorrect and only 1 is correct. First option, cornea consists of dense connective tissue of elastin and can repair itself, which is wrong. Second option, cornea is convex, transparent layer which is highly vascularized. Cornea is an avascular layer, so that is also wrong. Option 3, cornea consists of dense matrix collagen and is the most sensitive portion of the eye. Third option is also wrong. Fourth option is cornea is an external, transparent and protective proteinaceous covering of the eyeball. So the correct answer is option 4. Question number 56. Match the hominids with their correct brain size. The hominids given are Homo habilis, Homo neanderthalensis, Homo erectus and Homo sapiens. When we read evolution, the brain capacity of Homo neanderthalensis is highest, followed by Homo sapiens. So the correct answer is for Homo habilis, it is 650 to 800 cc. For Homo neanderthalensis, it is 1400 cc. For Homo erectus, it is 900 cc. For Homo sapiens, it is 1350 cc. So the correct option is option 2. Question number 57. The shorter and longer arms of the submetacentric chromosome are referred to as. The options are option 1, P arm and Q arm respectively. Option 2, Q arm and P arm respectively. Option 3, M arm and N arm respectively. Option 4, S arm and L arm respectively. There are 2 arms, shorter arm and longer arm. Shorter arm got its name as P and longer arm as Q. P stands for petit in French, which is known as small. So the shorter arm is called as P arm and the longer arm is called as Q arm. The Q letter is selected because it is consecutive to the letter P. So P arm is shorter arm and Q arm is longer arm. So the correct option for the question 57 is first option. Question number 58. What map unit centimorgan is adopted in the construction of genetic map? A unit of distance between 2 expressed genes representing 100% crossover. 2. A unit of distance between genes on chromosome representing 1% crossover. Option 3. A unit of distance between genes on chromosome representing 50% crossover. Option 4. a unit of distance between two expressed genes representing 10% crossover. A map unit, centimorgan, is called genetic map. So 1 centimorgan indicates a 1% chance that two genes will be separated by crossing over. So the correct option is option 2, a unit of distance between genes on chromosome representing 1% crossover. Question number 59. Select the hormone releasing intrauterine devices. Option 1, multi-load 375 and progestasert. Option 2, progestasert and LNG20. Option 3, Lippi's loop multi-load 375. Option 4, Walls and levonorgestrel 20. The correct option is option 2. Progestasert and levonorgestrel 20 are the hormones which are released by intrauterine devices. Question number 60. Which of the following is true for golden rice? Option 1, it is pest resistant with a gene from Bacillus thuringiensis. Option 2, it is a drought tolerant developed using Agrobacterium vector. Option C, it has yellow grains because of a gene introduced from a primitive variety of rice. Option 4, it is a vitamin A enriched with a gene from daffodil. The correct answer for this question is option 4. It is vitamin A enriched with a gene from daffodil. So genetic engineering is used to synthesize beta carotene, a precursor of vitamin A in the edible part of rice. This is done by International Rice Research Institute to combat vitamin A deficiency in the public. The next question, question number 61. Match the following organisms with the products they produce. On the first column 1, the organisms have been given, and in the column 2, the products have been given. We should match the organism with the product. A, Lactobacillus. B, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. C, Aspergillus niger. And D, Acidobacter aceti. Lactobacillus is used in the formation of curd, Lactobacillus thermophilus. Saccharomyces cerevisiae is used in the formation of bread, and Aspergillus niger is used to produce citric acid, and Acidobacter aceti is used to produce vinegar or acetic acid from ethanol. So the correct option for this is, for Lactobacillus it is 2, curd. For Saccharomyces it is 4, B, bread. For Aspergillus niger it is 3, and Acidobacter aceti it is 5. So the correct option is option number 1. Question number 62. Under which of the following condition will there be no change in the reading frame of following M RNA? And the sequence have been given. The options are 1, first option, deletion of G from 5th position. 2, insertion of A and G at 4th and 5th position respectively. 3, third option, deletion of GGU from 7th, 8th and 9th position. Option 4, insertion of G at 5th position. The correct option is option 3, because insertion or deletion of 3 or multiple codons which causes the reading frame, there is no change in the reading frame and it remains unaltered. Question number 63. Placentation in which ovules develops on the inner wall of ovary or in the peripheral part. The types of placentation have been given in the options. Option 1, axial placentation. 2, parietal. 3, free central. 4, basal. In the axial placentation, it is multilocular ovary and the ovules are placed in axial. In parietal placentation, the ovules are placed in the inner wall of ovary or the peripheral part, and it is separated by a false septum. In the free central placentation, the ovules are present in the central axis, and in the basal placentation, it is present in the base of ovary. So the correct option to the question is option 2, parietal placentation, in which ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary or in the peripheral part. Question number 64. What is the direction of movement of sugars in phloem? Option 1, upward. Option 2, downward. Option 3, bidirectional. Option 4, non-multidirectional. All the organic substances are transported bidirectionally or multidirectionally. So the correct option for the above question is option 3, bidirectional. Question number 65. Following statements describe the characteristic of the enzyme restriction endonuclease. Identify the incorrect statement. So there are 4 options given, in which 3 are correct and only 1 is incorrect. The first option is the enzyme binds DNA at specific site and cuts only one of the 2 strands. The first option itself seems to be wrong because the restriction endonucleases breaks both the strands. Option 2, the enzyme cuts the sugar phosphate backbone at specific sites on each strand. This is correct. Option 3, the enzyme recognizes a specific palindromic nucleotide sequence in the DNA, which is also correct. The fourth option, the enzyme cuts DNA molecule at identified position within the DNA. Fourth option is also correct. So the incorrect option is the first option, that is the enzyme binds DNA at specific sites and cut only one of the 2 strands. Actually, restriction endonucleases cuts both the strands. Question number 66. From evolutionary point of view, retention of the female gametophyte with developing young embryo on the parent sporophyte for some time is first observed in. Options are mosses, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and liverworts. Liverworts and mosses are bryophytes, in which sporophyte is less developed and it is dependent on gametophyte. Gymnosperm, there is a reduction of gametophyte and cells grow entirely inside sporophyte. So the correct option is option 2, pteridophytes. In pteridophytes, ferns, the gametophytes depends on the young embryo on the parent sporophyte for some time. So the correct option is option 2, pteridophyte. 67th question. Variation caused by mutation as proposed by Hugo de Vries are option 1, random and directionless, option 2, small and directionless, option 3, small and directionless, 4, random and directional. The correct option is random and directionless. Small and directional theory is given by Darwin, and Hugo de Vries gave in his mutation theory that mutation is random and directionless. The correct option is option 1. 68th question. DNA precipitation out of a mixture of biomolecules can be achieved by treatment with first option chilled ethanol, second option methanol at room temperature, third option chilled chloroform, and fourth isopropanol. Ethanol precipitation is used because it purifies or concentrates RNA and DNA. It is an anti-solvent and DNA is insoluble in alcohol. So the correct option is chilled ethanol, in which the DNA is precipitated, and this process is called as pooling. 69th question. Select the correctly written scientific name of mango which was first described by Carolus Linnaeus. Option 1, Mangifera indica Linn. Option 2, Mangifera indica, I is represented in a small letter. Third option, Mangifera indica, the species name is given in a capital letter. Fourth, Mangifera indica Carlin. The correct option is Mangifera indica Linn. It is with specific epithet. 70th question. Which of the following pair of organelles does not contain DNA? Option 1, chloroplast and vacuoles. Option 2, lysosomes and vacuoles. Option 4, nuclear envelope and mitochondria. Option 4, mitochondria and lysosomes. Mitochondria, chloroplast are having DNA. So the correct option is lysosome and vacuole, which is the second option. So the correct option for 70th question is lysosome and vacuoles are the organelles which does not contain DNA. Question number 71. Tidal volume and expiratory reserve volume of an athlete is 500 ml and 1000 ml respectively. What will be his expiratory capacity if the residual volume is 1200 ml? The options are 1700 ml, 2200 ml, 2700 ml and 1500 ml. To calculate expiratory capacity, we need to add expiratory reserve volume and tidal volume. So the formula for expiratory capacity is expiratory reserve volume plus tidal volume. In the data, 1000 ml is given as expiratory reserve volume and 500 ml is given as tidal volume. So the answer will be 1500 ml, which is a expiratory capacity. So the option for this question is option 4, 1500 ml. Question number 72. Match the column 1 with column 2. In the column 1, the waves of the ECG has been given, and in the column 2, the events which takes place during the waves is given. Column 1, A, P wave, B, QRS complex, C, T wave, D, reduction in the size of T wave. P wave takes place during depolarization of atria. QRS complex occurs during depolarization of ventricles. T wave occurs during repolarization of ventricles, and reduction in the size of T wave suggests that there is a coronary ischemia. So the answer for this question is, for A, it is for depolarization of atria. For B, QRS complex, it is depolarization of ventricles. For C, T wave, it is repolarization of ventricles, and D, reduction in the size of T wave is coronary ischemia. So the option is option 4. Next question, respiratory quotient value of tripalmitin is. The answers are option 1, 0.7, option 2, 0.07, option 3, 0.09, and option 4, 0.9. Tripalmitin is a fatty acid. So the respiratory quotient for a fatty acid is 0.7. We need to calculate the respiratory quotient, which is the ratio of volume of carbon dioxide evolved to the volume of oxygen consumed in respiration, is called respiratory quotient. So the calculation will be respiratory quotient is volume of carbon dioxide evolved. Volume is 102 carbon dioxide divided by volume of oxygen consumed, 145 oxygen, which is equal to 0.7. So answer for this question is option 1, respiratory quotient value of a tripalmitin is 0.7. Question number 74. Which of the following contraceptive methods do involve a role of hormone? Option 1, barrier method, lactational amenorrhea, pills. Option 2, copper T, pills and emergency contraceptives. Option 3, pills, emergency contraceptive and barrier methods. Option 4, lactational amenorrhea, pills and emergency contraceptive. The correct answer for this question is option 4. In lactational amenorrhea, there is a hormonal role in which gonadotropin releasing hormone levels are reduced so that the estrogen level is also reduced. When there is a low estrogen, there is the absence of ovulation, which prevents pregnancy. Pills are rich in estrogen and progesterone, again which inhibits ovulation. And emergency contraceptive tablets also rich in estrogen and progesterone. So all these three conditions there is a hormonal role. So the answer is option 4, lactational amenorrhea, pills and emergency contraceptives. Question 75. Which one of the following equipments is essentially required for growing microbes on a large scale for industrial production of enzymes? The options are option 1, sludge digester, option 2, industrial oven, option 3, bioreactor and option 4, BOD incubator. The answer is option 3, bioreactor. Question number 76. What is the site of perception of photoperiod necessary for induction of flowering in plants? The options are pulvinus, option 2, shoot apex, option 3, leaves, option 4, lateral buds. The correct answer for this question is option 3, leaves. Leaves is site of perception of light or dark duration. it has been proposed that there is a hormonal substance which is responsible for flowering, and this hormone migrates from roots to shoot apices to induce flowering. So the answer is option 3, leaves. Question number 77. The concept of Omnis Cellula e Cellula regarding cell division was first proposed by option 1, Theodor Schwann, option 2, Sheldon, option 3, Aristotle, and option 4, Rudolf Virchow. The correct answer for this question is option 4, Rudolf Virchow. The meaning of Omnis Cellula e Cellula is all cells come from cells, that is all cells are originated from other cells. He proposed a statement to explain new cells arises from the pre-existing cell. So the answer for this question is option 4, Rudolf Virchow. Question number 78. Polyblend, a fine powder of recycled modified plastic, has proved to be a good material for option 1, it is used as a fertilizer, option 2, construction of roads, option 3, making tubes and pipes, option 4, making plastic sacks. Polyblend is a fine powder of recycled material of plastic such as plastic bags, plastic waste, etc. and it is mixed with bitumen or tar which is used to lay roads. So the correct option for this question is option 2. Polyblend is used in the construction of roads. Colostrum, the yellowish fluid secreted by mother during the initial days of lactation, is very essential to impart immunity to the newborn infants because it contains option 1, monocytes, option 2, macrophages, option 3, immunoglobulin A, and option 4, natural killers. We have been read from the lower classes that colostrum is rich in immunoglobulin A, which imparts passive immunity to protect the infant. Next, we move on to the next question, question number 80. Xylem translocate. The options are water and mineral salts only, option 2, water, mineral salts and some organic nitrogen only, option 3, water, mineral salts, some organic nitrogen and hormones, option 4, water only. Xylem translocate, water, mineral and some organic nitrogen and hormones. So the correct answer for this question is option 3, water, mineral salts, some organic nitrogen and hormones. Question number 81. Which of the following features of genetic code does allow bacteria to produce human insulin by recombinant DNA technology? The options are genetic code is redundant, genetic code is nearly universal, genetic code is specific, genetic code is not ambiguous. The correct option is option 2. Genetic code is nearly universal. For example, for a bacteria, if a codon UUU codes for phenylalanine, the same codon UUU codes phenylalanine in humans. So this character is allowing us to use bacteria to produce human insulin by recombinant DNA technology. Question number 82. Identify the correct pair representing the causative agent of typhoid fever and confirmatory test for typhoid. The options are Streptococcus pneumoniae and Vidal test, option 2, Salmonella typhi and Anthron test, option 3, Salmonella typhi and Vidal test, option 4, Plasmodium vivax and UTI test. Streptococcus pneumoniae is a causative agent of pneumonia and Vidal test is used to test typhoid. In the option 1, the first half is wrong. Option 2, Salmonella typhi is a causative agent for typhoid fever, but Anthron test is done to test carbohydrates. Option 3, Salmonella typhi is a causative agent of typhoid fever and Vidal test is used to test the antigen. Option 4, Plasmodium vivax is a causative agent of malaria and UTI test is a urinary tract infection test. So the correct option for the question number 82 is option 3, Salmonella typhi and Vidal test. In Vidal test, the reagent contains antigen and the human blood, the infected person, contains antibody, and this antigen and antibody reacts and which results in agglutination. So if agglutination is present, the test is positive and the person is said to be acquiring typhoid fever. Question number 83. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Option 1. Viruses are obligate parasites. Option 2. Infective constituent in viruses is a protein coat. Option 3. Prions consist of abnormally folded proteins. Option 4. Virions lack a protein coat. We should identify an incorrect option from these options. Option 1. Viruses are obligate parasite is true. Option 2. Infective constituent in virus is the nucleic acid. Whether it is RNA or DNA, it depends on the nature of virus, RNA virus or DNA virus. So the option 2 appears to be wrong. 3. Prions consist of abnormally misfolded protein is true. Prions are misfolded proteins. 4. Virions lack a protein coat, which is also correct. So the incorrect option is option 2. Infective constituent in virus is the protein coat. Question number 84. Which of the following glucose transporter is insulin dependent? The options are GLUT2, that is glucose transporter 2, GLUT3, GLUT4 and GLUT5. Among these options, 3 glucose transporters are insulin independent and only one is insulin dependent. Glucose 2 transporter is a facilitated glucose transporter which is present in liver and pancreas. Glucose 3 transporters are present in neuronal cells which is insulin independent. Glucose 4 receptors or transporters are present in muscle and adipose tissue which is dependent entirely on insulin. Glucose 1 transporters are again independent of insulin which is present in different tissues. So the correct answer for this question is glucose 4 transporter which is entirely dependent on insulin. Here the insulin will bind with the receptor and form hormone receptor complex. Once the complex is formed, it activates tyrosine kinase receptor and it activates a cascade of pathway which finally translocate the glucose transporter 4 in the cell membrane, and glucose can easily diffuse into the cell through the glucose transporter 4. The answer is option 3, GLUT4. Question number 85. Which of the following statement is not correct? The hydrolytic enzymes of lysosomes are active under acidic pH. Lysosomes are membrane bound structures. Lysosomes are formed by the process of packaging in the endoplasmic reticulum. Lysosomes have numerous hydrolytic enzymes. We should find out the incorrect option. Here the incorrect option is lysosomes are formed by the process of packaging in the endoplasmic reticulum. Actually, lysosomes are formed from Golgi complex by budding off from the trans phase of cisternae. So the incorrect option is option 3. 86. What is the fate of the male gametes discharged in the synergid? Option 1, all fuse with the egg. Option 2, one fuses with the egg and other fuse with synergid nucleus. Option 3, one fuses with the egg and the other fuses with the central cell nuclei. Option 4, one fuses with the egg and other degenerate in the synergid. The correct option is option 3, one fuses with the egg and other fuses with the central cell nuclei. So after the pollen tube releases the 2 male gamete into the cytoplasm of the synergid, one of the male gamete fuses with the egg and the other gamete fuses with the 2 polar nuclei in the central cell. Question number 87. Cells in G0 phase. Options are enter the cell cycle, suspend the cell cycle, terminate the cell cycle, 4 exit the cell cycle. The correct answer is suspend the cell cycle. G0 stage is said to be quiescent stage in which the cells are dormant or stop dividing temporarily or permanently. Permanently stopped tissues are neuron and RBC cells, and temporarily stopped cells are heart muscle cells. So the option is 2. Cells in G0 phase suspend the cell cycle. Question number 88. How does steroid hormone influence the cellular activities? The options are binding to DNA and forming a gene hormone complex. 2. activating cyclic AMP located on the cell membrane. 3. Using aquaporine channels as second messenger. 4. Changing the permeability of the cell membrane. The correct answer for this question is option 1. Binding to DNA and forming gene hormone complex. The receptor for the steroid hormones are located in DNA. So the steroid hormone should enter inside the cell and reach the DNA. Generally, steroid hormones are lipid soluble, so they can enter inside the cell very easily by simple diffusion. Then they can bind with the gene hormone complex. So the correct answer is option 1. Question number 89. Match the following structure with the respective location in organs. A. Crypts of Liberhun. B. Gleason's capsule. 3. Islets of Langerhans. D. Brunner's glands. Crypts of Liberhun is located in the small intestine, which are small tubular structure which secrete digestive enzyme and mucus in the small intestine. So, crypt of Liberhun is small intestine. Gleason's capsule, it is a thin connective tissue which covers the lobules of liver and which is a characteristic feature of a mammalian liver. So, Gleason's capsule is present in liver. Third, islets of Langerhans, it is an endocrine part of pancreas which contains alpha, beta, pancreatic polypeptide and somatostatin cells. 3. Brunner's glands, it is present in the duodenum at submucosal region which secrete mucus and very few enzymes. So the correct answer for this question is for A. Crypts of Liberhun, it is 3. Small intestine. For Gleason's capsule, it is 4. Liver. For islets of Langerhans, it is 1. Pancreas. For Brunner's glands, it is 2. Duodenum. So the correct option is option number 2. Question number 90. Consider the following features. A. Organ system, level of organization. B. Bilateral symmetry. 3. True coelomates with segmentation of body. Select the correct option of animal groups which possesses all the above characteristics. Option 1. Annelida, Arthropoda and Mollusca. Option 2. Arthropoda, Mollusca and Chordata. Option 3. Annelida, Mollusca and Chordata. Option 4. Annelida, Arthropoda and Chordata. The correct answer is option 4. It is Annelida, Arthropoda and Chordata. Question number 91. Consider the following statements. A. Coenzyme or metal ion that is tightly bound to enzyme protein is called prosthetic group. Statement B. A complete catalytic active enzyme with its bound prosthetic group is called apoenzyme. We should select the correct option from this. Option 1. A is true but B is false. Option 2. Both A and B are false. Option 3. A is false but B is true. Option 4. Both A and B are true. The correct answer for this question is both A and B are false. Prosthetic groups are organic compounds which are tightly bound to the apoenzyme. Example, heme is tightly binds with the peroxidase enzyme. But coenzyme and metal ions are loosely bound with the enzyme. So the statement A is wrong. Because in the statement A it is given tightly bound. Actually coenzyme and metal ion are loosely bound. An enzyme with prosthetic group is called holoenzyme and not apoenzyme. So both the statement A and B are false. Question number 92. Which one of the following statement regarding post-fertilization development in flowering plants is incorrect? Option 1. Zygote develops into embryo. Option 2. Central cell develops into endosperm. Option 3. Ovules develop into embryo sac. Option 4. Ovary develops into fruit. Among the 4 options, 3 are correct and 1 is incorrect. The incorrect option is option 3. Ovules develop into seed and not into embryo sac. So after fertilization, ovules develop into seed, ovary develops into fruit and zygote develops into embryo. And the central cell develops into endosperm. So the wrong option is 3. Ovules develop into embryo sac. Question number 93. Which part of the brain is responsible for thermoregulation? The options are hypothalamus, corpus callosum, medulla oblongata and cerebrum. The correct answer for this question is hypothalamus, which is the main part of temperature regulation or thermoregulation. In hypothalamus we have two different nucleus, anterior nucleus and lateral nucleus, which takes part in the regulation of our body temperature. For example, if there is a hot environment, our body will sweat and we tend to excrete less urine. For example, in a cold environment, the mechanism of vasoconstriction takes place and curling up takes place, which increases the temperature of body so that our body temperature will come back to normal. So the answer for the 93rd question is hypothalamus. 94th question. Which of the following pair of gases is responsible for greenhouse effect? Option 1, oxygen and nitrogen. Option 2, nitrogen and sulfur dioxide. Option 3, carbon dioxide and methane. Option 4, ozone and ammonia. There are 4 important greenhouse gases, which are carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, nitrous oxide and water vapor. So here the correct option is carbon dioxide and methane. When there is an increase in greenhouse gases, it causes considerable heating of earth, leading to global warming. So the correct option is option 3, carbon dioxide and methane. Question number 95. A gene locus has 2 alleles, capital A and small a. If the frequency of dominant allele capital A is 0.4, then what will be the frequency of homozygous dominant, heterozygous and homozygous recessive individuals in the population? So there are 2 alleles given, capital A and small a. The frequency of capital A is given as 0.4. So P plus Q is equal to 1. Capital A is 0.4. So ultimately small a will be 0.6, so that it is equal to 1. So small a is 0.6. The formula for that is P plus Q is equal to Y. Squaring gives P plus Q square is equal to 1. Expanding this, P square plus Q square plus 2PQ is equal to 1. Substitute 0.4 in P and 0.6 in Q. 0.4 square gives 0.16 plus 0.36 plus 0.48 is equal to 1. So from the equation, so P square is double A, Q square is 2 small a's, A, 2PQ is, P is capital A and Q is small a. So the ratio of this will be 0.16, 0.36 and 0.48. So the answer for the question number 95 is option 2. 0.16 is homozygous dominant, 0.48 is heterozygous recessive and 0.36 is homozygous recessive. So the correct option is option 2. Question number 96. Due to increasing airborne allergens and pollutants, many people in urban areas are suffering from respiratory disorder causing wheezing, and it is due to option 1, inflammation of bronchi and bronchioles, option 2, proliferation of fibrous tissue and damage of the alveolar valves, option 3, reduction in the secretion of surfactant by pneumocystis, option 4, benign growth on mucous lining of nasal cavity. Wheezing is nothing but a difficulty in breathing. So in wheezing there will be inflammation of bronchi and bronchioles and the air passage is constricted, so that it is very difficult to breathe. So the answer for the 96th question is option 1, inflammation of bronchi and bronchiole causes wheezing. Question number 97. Persistent nucellus in the seed is known as option 1, perisperm, option 2, hilum, option 3, tegmen, option 4, callasa. The correct answer for this question is perisperm, which is seen in black pepper, beet, etc. Question number 98. What is the genetic disorder in which an individual has an overall masculine development, gynecomastia, and is sterile? There are 4 options given. Option number 1, Klinefelter syndrome. Option 2, Edwards syndrome. Option 3, Down syndrome. And option 4, Turner syndrome. From the question, we can assume that the problem is with the sex chromosome. There are 4 syndromes given in which Klinefelter syndrome and the Turner syndrome are in relationship with the sex chromosomal diseases. Edwards syndrome and Down syndrome are the autosomal diseases or autosomal genetic disorder. In the Turner syndrome, individual has 45X0, that is they have 45 chromosomes, only one sex chromosome, that is X chromosome. In Klinefelter syndrome, the individual will have 47 XXY chromosome, that is the total number of chromosome is 47, they have 2 X and 1 Y chromosome. So on the appearance they will be masculine, but they have development of mammary gland and they are sterile. So the correct option is Klinefelter syndrome, option number 1. Question number 99. Which of the following ecological pyramids is generally inverted? Option 1, pyramid of energy. Option 2, pyramid of biomass in a forest. Option 3, pyramid of biomass in a sea. Option 4, pyramid of numbers in grassland. So pyramid of energy is never inverted, it is always upright. Pyramid of biomass in a forest is dumbbell shaped. Pyramid of biomass in sea is inverted, and pyramid of numbers in grassland is upright. So the correct option for this question is pyramid of biomass in sea, option C. It is because of the reproductive period and longevity of a member of the higher trophic level. Question number 11. Select the correct sequence of organs in the alimentary canal of cockroach starting from mouth. Cockroach has pharynx, esophagus, followed by crop. It is a stomach-like structure which helps in the storage of food, and crop is followed by gizzard. The gizzard has chitinous teeth which helps in cutting down and breaking down of the digestive substances, followed by ileum, colon and rectum. So the correct option is option 4, pharynx, esophagus, crop, gizzard, ileum, colon and rectum. Question number 101. The ciliated epithelial cells are required to move particles or mucus in a specific direction. In humans, these cells are mainly present in option 1, fallopian tubes and pancreatic duct. Option 2, eustachian tube and salivary duct. Option 3, bronchioles and fallopian tubes. Option 4, bile duct and bronchioles. The correct answer is option 3, bronchioles and fallopian tubes. In bronchioles, the ciliated epithelium pushes away the foreign particles and microparticles away from our lungs and alveoli. In fallopian tube, it helps in the movement of the fertilized zygote or a matured ovum. So the correct answer is option 3, bronchioles and fallopian tubes. Question number 102. Which of the following is a commercial blood cholesterol lowering agent? The options are option 1, statin, option 2, streptokinase, option 3, lipases, option 4, cyclosporin A. Statin is a HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors which inhibits the enzyme responsible for the cholesterol production. Anticoagulant. Lipases are enzymes which hydrolyzes the fat, and cyclosporin A is an immunosuppressive agent. The question is, which of the following is a commercial blood cholesterol lowering agent? So the correct option is statin. Now question number 103. Match the following hormones with the respective disease. The hormones are given insulin, thyroxine, corticoids and growth hormone. Insulin is responsible for the production of diabetes mellitus, that is hyperglycemia. Thyroxine, increased thyroxine hyperthyroidism causes goiter. Corticoids, decrease in corticoids level, glucocorticoids level causes Addison's disease. Growth hormone increase in growth hormone after the fusion of epiphyseal plate, that is in adolescent it causes acromegaly. So for insulin it is 5 diabetes mellitus, thyroxine it is 4 goiter, corticoids it is 1 Addison's disease, growth hormone it is 3 acromegaly. So the correct option is option number 2. Question number 104. Which of the following immune responses is responsible for rejection of kidney? Options are option 1 humoral immune response, 2 inflammatory immune response, 3 cell mediated immune response, and 4 autoimmune response. The rejection of kidney graft is done entirely by T lymphocytes, and T lymphocyte is responsible for the production of cell mediated immunity. B lymphocyte is responsible for the production of humoral immunity. So the correct option for this question is option number 3, cell mediated immune response. Question number 105. Select the correct statement. First, inbreeding is essential to evolve pureliness in any animals. 2. Inbreeding selects harmful recessive genes that reduce fertility and productivity. 3. Inbreeding helps in accumulation of superior genes and elimination of undesirable genes. And inbreeding increases homogeneity. So we should select one incorrect option. The incorrect option is inbreeding helps in the accumulation of superior genes and elimination of undesirable genes. Only crossbreeding helps in the accumulation of superior gene and elimination of undesirable gene. So the correct option for this question is option number 3. Question number 106. The frequency of recombination between gene pairs on the same chromosome as a measure of a distance between genes was explained by option 1 Gregor J. Mendel, option 2 Alford, option 3 Sutton Boveri, option 4 T.H. Morgan. The frequency of recombination between gene pairs on the same chromosome, it is called a genetic map, which was explained by Alfred Sturtevant. So the correct answer is option 2. The question number 107. Which of the following can be used as a biocontrol agent in the treatment of plant disease? The options are option 1 chlorella, option 2 anabina, option 3 lactobacillus, option 4 trichoderma. The correct answer for this question is trichoderma, which acts against pathogenic fungi and soil-borne diseases. So the option for the question 107 is option 4 trichoderma. Question number 108. Use of an artificial kidney during dialysis may result in A. Nitrogenous waste buildup in the kidney, B. Non-elimination of excess potassium ions, C. Reduced absorption of calcium ion from gastrointestinal tract, C. Reduced RBC production. Which of the following options is the most appropriate? So we should select two options which are correct. Artificial kidney is used to eliminate the nitrogenous waste buildup in the body. So it will eliminate, and it causes elimination of excess potassium ion. So option A and B are not correct. Option C, reduced absorption of calcium ion from gastrointestinal tract. Kidney secretes an active form of vitamin D which helps in the absorption of calcium ion from GI tract. So if there is any problem with the kidney, then automatically there will be reduced absorption of calcium ion. C is correct. Option D is reduced RBC production. Kidney secretes an important hormone called erythropoietin which helps in the production of RBC. Again, when there is a problem with the kidney, there is decreased production of RBC. So D is also correct. So the correct option for question number 108 is option 2. C and D are correct. Question number 109. In Antirrhenium snapdragon, a red flower was crossed with a white flower, and in F1 generation, pink flowers were obtained. When pink flowers were selfed, the F2 generation showed white, red and pink flowers. Choose the incorrect statement from the following. First statement, pink flower in F1 is due to incomplete dominance. That is correct. Option 2, Ratio of F2 is 1 by 4 red is to 2 by 4 pink is to 1 by 4 white. This statement is also correct. Option 3, law of segregation does not apply in this experiment. This is wrong. Option 4, this experiment does not follow the principle of dominance. This option 4 is correct. This experiment follows incomplete dominance. So the incorrect option is option 3. Law of segregation does not apply in this experiment. Question number 110. Which one of the following is not a method of in situ conservation of biodiversity? The options are wildlife sanctuary, 2 botanical garden, 3 sacred grove, 4 biosphere reserve. The answer is 2 botanical garden. Question number 111. Which of the following factors is responsible for the formation of concentrated urine? Option 1, maintaining hyperosmolarity towards inner medullary interstitium in the kidneys. 2, secretion of erythropoietin by juxtaglomerular apparatus. 3, hydrostatic pressure during glomerular filtration. 4, low levels of antidiuretic hormone. 4 options are given. We should select only one responsible for concentrated urine. First, maintenance of hyperosmolarity in medullary interstitium helps in the concentration of urine. That is correct. Second option, secretion of erythropoietin by juxtaglomerular complex has no role in the urine concentration. Only erythropoietin helps in the RBC production. Hydrostatic pressure during glomerular filtration, the option 3, helps in the formation of urine. Low levels of antidiuretic hormone causes diluted urine. So the correct option for the concentrated urine is option 1, maintaining hyperosmolarity towards inner medullary interstitium in the kidneys. Question number 112. Select the incorrect statement. Statement 1, in male grasshoppers 50% of sperms have no sex chromosome. 2, in domesticated fowls sex of progeny depends on the type of sperm rather than egg. 3, human males have one of their sex chromosome much shorter than the other. 4, male fruit fly is heterogametic. In that 3 options are correct, 1 is incorrect. The first option is correct, in which male grasshoppers 50% of sperm has no sex chromosome. Second, in domesticated fowls sex of progeny depends on type of sperm rather than egg. This seems to be incorrect. Human males have one of their sex chromosome much shorter than the other. Males have X and Y chromosome. Y chromosome is relatively shorter than X. Male fruit fly is heterogametic. So option 1, 3 and 4 are correct. The incorrect option is option 2. Question number 113. In a species, the weight of newborn ranges from 2 to 5 kg. 97% of newborn with an average weight between 3 to 3.3 kg survive, whereas 99% of infants born with weight from 2 to 2.5 kg or 4.5 to 5 kg die. Which type of selection process is taking place? The options are stabilizing selection, disruptive selection, cyclical selection and directional selection. The correct option is stabilizing selection. Question number 114. Select the correct sequence for transport of sperm cells in male reproductive system. Generally, sperms are produced in seminiferous tubule and it is excreted. So we should check the options starting from seminiferous tubule and ends with urethral meatus. The options are option 1, seminiferous tubule, reti testis from there, vasa efferentia, it is stored and matured in epididymis, vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, urethra and urethral meatus. Option 2, seminiferous tubule, vasa efferentia, epididymis, inguinal canal and urethra. Inguinal canal has no role in the transport of sperm. So option 2 is wrong. Third one, testis, epididymis, vas efferentia, vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, inguinal canal, urethra and urethral meatus. Again inguinal canal has no role. In fourth, testis, epididymis, vasa efferentia, reti testis, inguinal canal and urethra is given. This is also wrong. So the correct option is option 1. It is produced in seminiferous tubule, transported through reti testis, vasa efferentia and it is matured and stored in epididymis. ejaculated via Bassa deferens into the ejaculatory duct, and it is ejaculated to the exterior through urethra and urethral meatus. The correct option for question number 114 is option 1. Question number 115. Phloem in gymnosperms lack option 1 sieve tubes only, option 2 companion cells only, option 3 both sieve tubes and companion cells, option 4 albuminous cells and sieve cells. The correct option is option 3 both sieve tubes and companion cells. Let's move on to question number 116. Question number 116 is match the following. We should match the column 1 and column 2. In the column 1, and we should match it along with the column 2. Most fungi are heterotrophic. So A is saprophyte. Saprophytic fungi live and get their nutrition on dead and decayed matter. So the answer for A is 2. B, parasite. Parasitic fungi live on other living organisms such as plants or animal. So the answer for B is option 3. C is lichens. Lichens is a symbiotic association of algae and fungi. Algae provides water and fungi provides food. So they both live in a mutual association. D is mycorrhiza. It is a symbiotic association of fungi with higher plant roots. So the correct answer for the question is answer 3. A, saprophyte 2, B, parasite is 3, C, lichens is 4, and D, mycorrhiza is 1. So the answer is option 3. The next question number 117. We should select the correct option. Option number 1, 11th and 12th pair of ribs are connected to the sternum with the help of hyaline cartilage. Option 2, each rib is a flat thin bone and all the ribs are connected dorsally to the thoracic vertebrae and ventrally to the sternum. Option 3, there are 7 pairs of vertebrosternal, 3 pairs of vertebrochondral and 2 pairs of vertebral ribs. Option 4, 8th, 9th and 10th pairs of ribs articulate directly with the sternum. So all of us know that there are 12 pairs of ribs. Among the 12, only 7 pairs are called as true ribs, which articulates with sternum in front and vertebral column in back. So the first 7 pairs are called as vertebrosternal ribs. The 8, 9, 10 are called as false rib, which articulates vertebra in the back and cartilage in the front. So they are called as vertebrochondral ribs. And the last 2 pairs are called as floating ribs. So they are just attached to the vertebra at the back. So the correct option for the question number 117 is third option. There are 7 pairs of vertebrosternal, 3 pairs of vertebrochondral and 2 pairs of vertebral ribs. Question number 118. Identify the cells whose secretion protects the lining of gastrointestinal tract from various enzymes. We all know that gastrointestinal tract is rich with enzymes and hydrochloric acid. The mucus secretion helps in protecting the gastrointestinal tract. So we should identify the cell which secretes mucus. The options are option 1 goblet cells, option 2 oxyntic cells, option 3 duodenal cells, option 4 chief cells. Oxyntic cell secretes hydrochloric acid, chief cell secrete pepsinogen, and the duodenal cell secretes other hormone. So the option is option number 1. The correct option is option number 1 goblet cells, which secretes mucus, and this mucus protects the gastrointestinal tract. Question number 119. Conversion of glucose to glucose 6-phosphate, the first irreversible reaction of glycolysis, which is catalyzed by. The options of the enzyme are option 1 hexokinase, option 2 enolase, option 3 phosphofructokinase, option 4 aldolase. The correct answer is hexokinase. Glucose and fructose are phosphorylated to give rise to glucose 6-phosphate, which is done by the enzyme hexokinase. So the correct answer is option number 1. Next, question number 120. Select the correct group of biocontrol agents. So there are 4 groups which is given in 4 different options. Option number 1, Trichoderma, Baculovirus, Bacillus thuringiensis. Option number 2, Oscillotria, Rhizobium and Trichoderma. Option number 3, Nostoc, Azospirillum, Nucleopolyhedrovirus. Option number 4, Bacillus thuringiensis, tobacco mosaic virus and aphids. The answer for the question number 120 is option number 1, Trichoderma, Baculovirus and Bacillus thuringiensis. Trichoderma species are the free-living fungi in the root ecosystem. So they are very effective in controlling several plant pathogens. Baculovirus are the pathogens that attack insects and arthropods. And last, Bacillus thuringiensis are mixed with water and sprayed to the vulnerable plants, so which protects the plants from insects. Question number 121. Which of the following muscular disorder is inherited? The options are option number 1, muscular dystrophy, option number 2, myasthenia gravis, option number 3, botulism and option number 4, tetany. Among these 4 options, the first option, option number 1, muscular dystrophy is the correct answer. Muscular dystrophy is an inherited X-linked recessive disorder. So males will be having XY chromosome and females has XX chromosome. Males are more prone to get this disease compared to females. Females act as a carrier, but males are the diseased one. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 122. The drug called heroin is synthesized by. Options are acetylation of morphine, option 2, glycosylation of morphine, option 3, nitration of morphine, option 4, methylation of morphine. The correct answer is option number 1. Heroin, which is commonly called as MAC, which is obtained by which is chemically called diacylmorphine. It is a white, odorless, bitter and crystalline compound. So the correct option is acetylation of morphine. Question number 123. Thiobacillus is a group of bacteria helpful in carrying out. The options are chemoautotropic fixation, nitrification, denitrification and nitrogen fixation. Thiobacillus converts nitrate into nitrogen, that is nitrate present in the soil is reduced to nitrogen, and this process is called as denitrification. Number 123 is option 3. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 124. Which of the following protocols did aim for reducing into the atmosphere? The options are option number 1, Kyoto Protocol, option 2, Gothenburg Protocol, option 3, Geneva Protocol and option 4, Montreal Protocol. The correct answer for this question is option number 4, Montreal Protocol. Chlorofluorocarbons attacks the ozone layer and causes the depletion of ozone layer. So recognizing this deleterious effect of ozone depletion, an international treaty was signed at Montreal in 1987 and the protocol was effective from 1989. It is to control the emission of ozone depleting substances. So the answer for question number 124 is option 4, Montreal Protocol. Question number 125. In some plants, the female gamete develops into embryo without fertilization. This phenomenon is known as. The options are option number 1, parthenocarpy, option 2, syngamy, option 3, parthenogenesis and option 4, autogamy. The correct option for this question is option 3, parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis is a reproductive strategy that involves development of female gametes mostly or rarely a male without fertilization. It is commonly occurring in lower plants and invertebrate animals and it is rarely seen among higher vertebrates. So option for the 125 question is option 3, parthenogenesis. Question number 126. Express the sequence tags ESTs refers to? The options are option number 1, polypeptide expression, option 2, DNA polymorphism, option 3, novel DNA sequences, option 4, genes expressed as RNA. The right answer for the question number 126 is option 4, gene expressed as RNA. It is an approach focused on identifying all the genes that are expressed as RNA, which is referred to as expressed sequence tags. Question number 127. The Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992 was called. The options for this question is for conservation of biodiversity and sustainable utilization of its benefits. Option 2, to assess threat posed to native species by invasive weed species. Option 3, for immediate steps to discontinue use of chlorofluorocarbons that were damaging the ozone layer. Option number 4, to reduce carbon dioxide emission and global warming. The Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992 was called for the conservation of biodiversity and sustainable utilization of benefits. So the correct option for this question is option number 1. The Historic Convention of Biological Diversity is called upon all nations to take appropriate measure for conservation of biodiversity and sustainable utilization of its benefits. Question number 128. What would be the heart rate of a person if the cardiac output is 5 liter, blood volume in the ventricles at the end of diastole is 100 ml and at the end of ventricular systole is 50 ml. Diastole is ventricular relaxation and systole is ventricular contraction. Here we have to use a formula, cardiac output is equal to stroke volume into heart rate. We need to find heart rate, so we will keep it as X. Cardiac output is given as 5 liters. It is converted into 5000 ml. Stroke volume is amount of blood ejected from the ventricle in ml per minute. So here N systolic volume is 50 and diastolic volume is 100. So the stroke volume will be 50 ml. Here substitute with 50 ml. So X is equal to 5000 by 50, which is equal to 100. So the heart rate is 100 beats per minute. The answer for the question number 128 is 100 beats per minute, option 2. Question number 129. Conconavalin A is options are option 1, an essential oil, option 2, a lectin, option 3, a pigment, and option 4, an alkaloid. The correct answer for this question is option 2. It is a plant lectin that is purified from a jack beans. Question number 130. Which of the following is the most important cause driven to extinction? The options are drought and floods, option 2, economic exploitation, option 3, alien species invasion, options 4, habitat loss and fragmentation. The correct answer for this question number 130 is option 4, habitat loss and fragmentation, which is the most important cause driving animals and plants to extinction. Question number 131. It takes very long time for pineapple plants to produce flowers. Which combination of hormones can be applied artificially to induce flowering in pineapple plants throughout the year to increase yield? The options are option 1, gibberellin and cytokinin, option 2, gibberellin and abscisic acid, option 3, cytokinin and abscisic acid, option 4, auxin and ethylene. The correct answer for 131 question is option 4, auxin and ethylene. Auxin promotes flowering in pineapples. So they help to prevent fruit and leaf drop at early stage but promote the absorption of older mature leaves and flowers. Ethylene is used to initiate flowering and for synchronizing fruit set in pineapples. So the option is option 4, auxin and ethylene. Let's move on to the next question, question number 132. The correct sequence of phases of cell cycle is option 1, G1, G2, S and M phase. Option 2, S followed by G1, G2 and M phase. Option 3, G1, S, G2 and M phase. Option 4, M, G1, G2 and S phase. The correct answer for this 132 question is option 3. In the G1 phase of interphase, all the internal organelles of the cells are replicated, and in the S phase, the DNA of the cell is replicated. It is followed by the G2 phase where all the replicated DNA is checked for mutation, and at last the final stage is M phase, which is a mitotic phase. Question number 133. Which of the following sexually transmitted diseases is not completely curable? Option 1, genital warts. Option 2, genital herpes. Option 3, chlamydiasis. And option 4, gonorrhea. Sexually transmitted disease such as hepatitis B, HIV and genital herpes are not completely curable. So the correct answer for question number 133 is option 2, genital herpes. Question number 134. Which of the statement given below is not true about formation of annual rings in trees? Option 1, differential activity of cambium causes light and dark bands of tissue, early and late wood respectively. Option 2, activity of cambium depends upon variation in climate. Option 3, annual rings are not prominent in trees of temperate region. Option 4, annual ring is a combination of spring wood and autumn wood produced in a year. Among the 4 options, 3 options are correct and 1 option is wrong. So the incorrect or not true option is option number 3. Annual rings are not prominent in trees of temperate region. In temperate region, the climatic conditions are not uniform throughout the year. In the spring season, the cambium is very active and produces a large number of xylem elements having vessels with wider cavities. So the wood formed during this season is called spring wood or early wood. In winter, the cambium is less active and forms few xylem elements that have narrow vessels, and this wood is called as autumn wood or late wood. So the incorrect option is option number 3. Question number 135. Pinus seeds cannot germinate and establish without fungal association. This is because option 1, it has obligate association with mycorrhizae. Option 2, it has very hard seed coat. Option 3, its seeds contain inhibitors that prevent germination. Option 4, its embryo is immature. The correct answer for this 135 question is option number 1. Pinus seeds cannot germinate and establish without the presence of mycorrhizae. Dear students, we have come to the end of the discussion. We have discussed 90 biology questions and the solutions. It seems to be easy. Thank you for your patience listening. Thank you.